Today I'm here to give you guys a full Syngonium care guide. Hey guys, it's Olivia from Life of Roselle. Welcome back to my channel. Syngoniums are one of those plants that not a lot of people talk about or post about. It's not really the Instagram plant yet. I'm gonna say yet. And I didn't even really know about them until recently. And now that I know about them, I want like all of them, especially the one like the sprinkles one. I don't know the actual name of that one. But that was like the cutest one ever. So let's get right into the video about how to take care of our Syngoniums. This plant is mostly known as Syngonium podophyllum, but they have a bunch of other common names such as Arrowhead Vine, Goosefoot plant, Nephthydus, and just a bunch of other ones that it might be referred to. This plant comes from places in South America, so Mexico, Brazil, Bolivia. They come from different places in that region. This is a relatively low light plant, but I do recommend that if you're going to be putting it in low light situations that you try to get a darker green or even like just plain green. If you're gonna get a lighter variegated one such as this, then it would do better in medium to bright indirect light. That way it doesn't lose the variegation or the color that it has on it. And also if you put these plants in more medium to bright indirect light, they will grow faster, bushier, even maybe start to vine, just because plants need more energy. So while they are low light plants, they'll do so much better in medium to bright indirect light. Water requirements. This one is huge. These plants like to stay more moist but not soggy. They're like calatheas but easier once you get the hang of it. So I would recommend following that 1 to 2 inch rule. So if you just stick your finger in a couple inches, if it's dry, go ahead and water it all the way through. If it's still a little bit moist, wait another day or two. These plants will also tell you when they need water. They might start to brown a little bit or maybe droop. So just watch out for signs of that. Once you find the right balance, it's super easy. I don't really like to say I water mine every 1 or 2 weeks, any of like time limits, because it's all dependent on your home, your humidity, your soil that you're putting it in. Like this one's in a really dense soil because this is my mother-in-law's. And I can tell that she really needs to change out the soil or water less because some of the leaves are turning yellow. So those are sure signs of overwatering, underwatering, stuff like that. So just find that right balance and you'll be okay. Temperature, they're really adaptable. They love just being at home. So try to keep them between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Try to keep it on that warmer side if you can. For Celsius, that is 18-ish to 29-ish degrees Celsius. Humidity. I couldn't really find a specific range to keep this plant in for humidity, but I would personally say no lower than about 40. There's ways to increase the humidity around these plants, like misting it every day will help, making a little pebble tray, put a humidifier in your room. There's different ways you can increase it. If there's not enough humidity for these plants, the leaves will start to turn brown and maybe curl in a little bit. So if you see that happening, just know that you have to increase the humidity. For fertilizing, I typically just use a slow release worm castings fertilizer. So I'll just top dress it with the worm castings, and then as I water it more and more, the fertilizers will just go down into the soil and fertilize the roots. You can use a chemical fertilizer, just make sure that you dilute it the correct amount so that you don't burn the leaves because they are fairly thin. And also you can always water it first and then put the fertilizer in there with water like you normally would, and then you won't burn the leaves that way. Make sure you fertilize during the growing season as well. For propagating, the easiest way to propagate is probably to root separate it and just take it out of the soil and just root separate it, take apart the roots. Another way is to stem cut it, so just cut it at the base, put it in water, soil, and propagate it that way. If you do propagate it and cut it back, that will promote more growth, which will make it more bushier. So if you like a more vining look, which it eventually will do, then just don't propagate it, just let it be free. Maybe only take 1 leaf if you want to grow some more plants. But yeah, super easy to propagate. Just a little tip that I've found for you guys is don't water these plants with super cold or super hot water. I don't think anybody waters their plants with super hot water, but I know sometimes we have a tendency to just grab some water out of the sink and just water it. But if you water it with more room temperature water, it'll help to not shock the plant. So just leave it out a little bit, 30 minutes to an hour, overnight, however suits you, and then just water it with that water. That way it's not too hot, it's not too cold. All right, that's it guys. I hope these tips really helped you. And if I left anything out, or if you have any other personal tips that you've seen help, comment them down below, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, give it a little thumbs up, hit the little bell notification so you know when I post. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Life of Roselle. And with that, have a good day, have a good night, have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you guys soon.